Clear Shots is brought to you by Pinecast. Use the code R-63F8FB to get 40% off your first 4 months.
Don't give them clear shot! Don't give them clear shot! Don't give them clear shot! Don't give them clear shot!
All right. Well,
I'm ready for anything you have.
All right.
Yeah. What do you got? What's your topic?
My topic?
Yeah. What's your topic of discussion?
What do you want me to talk about?
I don't know. You want us to have the super chats, so you got to get it. We got to get it kicking. For super chats.
Well, people love big arguments. Is there any major disagreements where you think you have with me that we could actually argue and maybe get angry with each other?
Probably, yeah.
All right.
Fuck Trump. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Okay, so what's like the number one thing you agree with Trump on? Like, what's the big thing like that you would go with?
Immigration.
Just that immigration policy. Now, like I said earlier, I can follow that. Like, I can agree with a lot of immigration like policies. I still don't think what's going on is right. Like, what he's doing is right.
Why?
I think there's probably better ways to go about it than fucking.
I don't think so. Well, yes and no.
Like, I get that it's a punishment and shit, but that's too much of a punishment.
But it also deters other illegal immigrants from coming across the border, and
yeah, I think there's other ways to do that. Though.
That's happening. Well, I don't want that to happen to me. And then I guess another way that you could look at it, and I think this would be a good solution, is if you were to crack down on people who are employing illegal immigrants and cut off the welfare state for them, and then I believe they could self-deport, but if you want an acceleration, I believe that this would be the best way.
Mm-hmm. I guess, but I think it's what he's trying to do is be super extreme about it. You know, I think he's trying to be maybe too extreme about it. Like, I get that you gotta go hard on him to get it to stop, but I don't know if taking kids and like separating people from their families is the right way.
Yeah, but you can't detain the children with their parents, otherwise the children would have to go to jail with their parents.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I'm not 100% sure what exactly it is they're doing down there. That's the thing. I don't think any of us really are.
Well, it's as the parents are setting up for trial and waiting currently in jail, the children are put in more of a daycare area.
Well, the thing is, I've heard a couple things where they basically told the parents that they're not going to see their kid again. Like, just plain and simple, they're not going to see him again. Which is fucked up.
That could be a fear tactic for them, too, to be like, oh, maybe I should leave then.
Right, I don't like that, though. I don't think it should just be fear. Like, fear shouldn't be the fucking way you do it.
I believe fear is the only way to get through people's heads.
I don't think it is. I mean, look, that's what fucking, it's the same thing that like Nazi Germany was thinking. They're like, hey, let's just be terrifying to everybody. Like, that's kind of what their idea was, fear tactics.
Well, no, because their ideas were more of hard hitting, like not more fear, but more of like, you don't see gas chambers here. Like,
no,
you didn't see them
not yet.
Germany either, but
not yet. Yeah, I guess you didn't.
The Holocaust. Oh,
yeah, that was all fake. No, that. Just like the Serbian genocide, that didn't actually happen either.
No, the Serbian genocide didn't happen. The Armenian genocide, in fact, definitely happened.
The Armenian one is guaranteed 100%.
You don't think the Holocaust happened, or were you just yanking my clit?
There's got to be some clit yanking, dude.
Is he tugging my clit?
Why, are you Jewish?
No, fuck no. Are you kidding me? You think I'd live in Oswego if I was Jewish?
No, you would have been kicked off of Twitter because you're Jewish. Like Ari Shafir.
I have to be Jewish to believe the Holocaust happened?
No.
No, you
Is
just
that
have
what
to
you're
be,
saying?
You just have to be Jewish in order to be insulted by it.
Okay. I'll play devil's advocate for the Holocaust because I believe everything that you're told about it did happen. Okay.
Yeah.
There were gas chambers, and there were also machines that tortured the Jews by masturbating them to death. But
that doesn't sound like a bad way to go.
What is going on?
Wait, but okay. So if a machine's doing it, is that masturbating? Because it's not, right? Because masturbating you have to do yourself, right?
and they were also turned into bars of soap after they died.
Hey, Skinner.
And we still use them to this
Can
day.
you grab me a beer out of the fridge?
We still use those
Please.
bars of soap. We're washing our bodies every day with dead Jews. That's such a fucking extreme. That's such an
Shut
extreme.
my mic off for a second. I was not expecting this. Like, this is a
I don't know if I can go with the bars
like
of soap.
a left hook to the dick. What you two are talking about right now, and I was not prepared.
Here, Sean, pull it up.
Yeah, I don't know about the bars of soap. Pull them up. Pull up Jewish people being turned into bars of soap and also masturbated to death. Because he types in Jewish turned into bars of soap. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Why am I going to Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia has to be true.
Wikipedia's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's got to be true. Oh, alleged
mountains are
instances
blue.
of soap being made from human body fat. I mean, that could have
Are
happened.
blue.
That could have
They're
happened.
blue.
I don't understand what. I
I
mean,
don't
like, look.
understand who told you this in the first. How do you figure this stuff out?
Paul,
Well, here's the thing: is like,
guaranteed Paul.
yeah.
I only go on the hate threads, like the British hate thread.
I mean, look, if you're gonna do something where you kill that many people,
You might as well turn them into soap.
yeah, you might as well
Fuck,
get
man.
something out of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might as well try and wash away your guilt. You know, wash away your guilt with. Oh my god.
The Clear Shots podcast was brought to you by Puncast.
Yeah, I don't
Not
know.
for long.
Look, I mean, what's crazy is that they probably did use that. That is crazy.
Now look up the masturbation machine
Yeah, let's see the jerk off machines because I want to see that.
and the roller coasters.
Are you just gonna
Roller coasters.
Yes.
This sounds like a good time.
Kenny,
It doesn't even sound like.
Can you just red pill us on all the most fucked up Holocaust things? Because actually, that would be so enjoyable. Because I have never heard of any of this stuff, and this is
I mean, look, he's telling us like. they
like I'm
turned into-
amazed. I'm
Everything
amazed
I'm
at.
looking up is coming up.
I'm amazed at what he's saying, and I'm amazed that there's
we're
dozens
actually
of sources.
finding it, yeah.
NameTheJew.com.
This is really crazy. Okay, so. Okay, so what book is this that did that claims this? Somebody, what's his name? Go back up for a second. Down a little bit. It's says it next paragraph. Right, Bernard Holstein. He claims he was an Auschwitz survivor and writes a Holocaust novel, blah blah blah. So he writes a book about how he got jerked off with a machine, basically, is what you're saying? There's a quote from the book and shit. This is weird. Okay, so this is... Where's the jerk-off machine? I don't see it. Do they have pictures of it? Because this sounds like a good time. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, you get jerked off, you ride a roller coaster.
This is it.
Oh, look, they're like penis pumps. It's like a dude. It looks like a hookah.
Hang on, stop.
It looks like a hookah for dicks.
Stop it right there. In Stolen Soul, Holstein talks about how Nazi doctors attempted to prove Aryan superiority by collecting Jewish semen with masturbating machines that often killed their subjects. Page 117. That's Master Chief's
Yo,
number.
where have I seen something like that before? Was it South Park where they were like milking all the boys for their jizz?
On Mars.
Yeah, because Cartman had like. A,
How would you die from that?
I don't. I mean, I don't know.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
But I can't imagine that's how they, how the Holocaust actually happened, though.
There's no way to know.
So they jizzed until they died and then were turned into soap. What's this roller coaster thing you're talking about?
That's another thing that I heard about. I don't know as much about the roller coaster.
You can't just mention it. Like
Holocaust roller coasters. Type that in.
I'm going through a roller coaster right now.
How do you? I wonder how many people have Googled Holocaust roller coasters.
Came up.
There's a Family Guy sketch there.
Reddit's
Roller coaster of death.
The roller
blah, blah, blah.
coaster of death.
This is
Wicked and not a real site.
this is fake as fuck.
Oh, incoming call. Did you just give him the fuck you button?
Yeah, I'm busy.
Holocaust tycoon.
Yeah, go to the... Yeah, there you go. News.com.Australia.
News.com. I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Just turn airplane mode on.
These are some serious accusations here.
Oh wait, no, that's just a roller coaster named after Zyklon B. That's
Yeah,
not
I
a
can't-
cat. Go up to the Reddit one.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I might as well.
I can't imagine they had a roller coaster, man. I just
Auschwitz's roller coaster of death.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, but how do they know? How do you know you're not talking about an emotional roller coaster? You know what I mean?
You can still die from that, though.
I mean, I guess. I still think they just got fucking put into rooms and gassed. Maybe turned into soap.
800 and 900 yards from the place where the ovens were, the prisoners were squeezed into little cars that ran on rails.
Oh, so they're like trolley.
In
kind of things.
Auschwitz, those cars had various dimensions and could hold up to 15 people each. As soon as a car was loaded, it would be set in motion on an inclined plane that traveled at full speed down a corridor. At the end of the corridor, there was a wall, and the wall was the door to the room, or the door to the oven. As soon as the car hit the wall, the door opened automatically, and the car would dip forward and pitch its cargo of living people into the oven. Right behind
Holy
it came another
shit.
car with another load. So it was just like a coal train.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh my god.
I mean, they basically treated people like they were Hershey bars in a fucking factory.
No, if
Like-
they were Hershey bars, they would have at least had the decency to eat it.
Yeah, but I imagine on the assembly line of like a Hershey bar, they have those things that kind of roll down and they put them into.
It reminds me of the American Dad episode where Steve gets the summer job separating the girl chickens from the boy chickens.
Yeah,
And the boy chickens just get tossed into a fucking grinder.
Or you gotta look up how Dove bars of soap are made.
Were they made with doves?
It's bullshit.
I don't know.
Who is saying all this shit? Like, where's this coming from?
Trump.
It's just random.
Like, I don't even know. Like, because this is what's weird about. Oh, it's on r/conspiracy.
That's why I didn't want to use Reddit.
That's Alex Jones' subreddit. I don't know, man. This is some weird shit. I've never read anything. Look, I don't really look into the Holocaust very much. Like, that's not one of my things. How many?
Oh, I can
ways-
answer that. 100,000 to 200,000
What's that?
Something about that.
Jewish people were killed in the Holocaust.
Oh, how many? Yeah. No, that's not true.
I always
But how
thought the
many
number
ways?
was extremely disputed.
Deportations.
What?
I heard that the number, like the total number
I
of
imagine
Jewish
it
people
is.
killed is extremely disputed.
Well, it can't. There's no way you could be accurate. I mean, I feel like they just packed them in. There were so many that you probably couldn't
Yeah.
really keep track of that.
You also have to look at the time that it would take to burn a body. Like, I don't believe they could burn 6 million within that amount of time.
Like
Yeah.
6 million is a number big enough
Well-
for us not to be able to process mentally.
Right.
Like the human brain can only process like a couple hundred, maybe. Like once
I
you
mean,
get more than
it's-
that, your brain can't really. It's not as accurate.
It's just
6 million's a lot of people, man. 6 million is a shit ton of people. And how long was the Holocaust? Like 10 years? 8 years?
Rumor was it wasn't 6 million, it was 6 gorillion.
I'm chugging this beer. I'm chugging this
Gorilla
fucking,
years.
I'm chugging this fucking beer.
6
right now.
gorillion.
Oh, I thought you said gorilla years. Yeah, it's just crazy that someone could. And this wasn't that long ago. It's crazy that someone could organize all this and have the and essentially like have a bunch of people work with him to do this.
33 to 45.
So 12 years.
Yeah, and for that to happen for 12 years without anybody like being like, "Yo,"
So you're killing 500,000 people a year. 500,000 Jews, not even considering they were killing black people, gay people.
yeah. Well, what's crazy is that people
retarded
followed him, though. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine all of them.
Have you read about Hitler? I'm not about to defend Hitler, but
the
way he turned around Germany's economy in an instant.
Yeah. Well, he was also extremely persuasive.
Complete, we'll never see a turnaround for a country's worth or value.
His speeches were also very charismatic and persuasive.
I mean, listen to him.
And he looked like the Jews were the 1% at the time. So.
Yeah.
It's very crazy that many people would follow him, though.
I think the crazy thing is I don't think so. I think people followed him as a leader of Germany, but most people didn't follow him as a leader for genocide.
Now, I imagine there's people that probably didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, I would say most of the German soldiers weren't even in support of.
Or it could have been hidden. It could have been hidden from a lot of them too.
Stalin killed more people.
Mao Zedong killed more people.
Yeah,
and even soldiers in the SS didn't even know that the Holocaust was going on.
Fucking look at that statistic, though.
6 million.
Yeah, look at that. Look how he turned around the economy in 6 years. He brought unemployment from 6 million to 300,000.
Yeah,
that is absolutely retarded.
A job for each Jew killed.
Well, the thing is, you're probably killing people, and that gives less. Your unemployment goes down when people are gone, right? You would imagine so.
Well,
I mean, the less people there are, the less people that are jobless.
Yeah, I think he also, on top of that, I think he also created a lot.
What is this?
What are you looking at now, Skinner?
I don't know. It's another charge.
Number of events, number of people involved. So they just started hiring like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because German engineering is impeccable. It really is. German cars are the best cars in the world, really. BMWs, Mercedes.
Yeah, they also had
aren't Audis?
Some of their.
Is it Audi or Audi? Audi.
Yeah. Well, it's Audi, I guess, but
aren't those German?
Yes.
Jaguars are German too, aren't they?
No, Jaguar is
Italian.
Yeah, it might be. Yes, I know it's UK. I think somewhere. I know that. I think Audi is German. Yeah. Volkswagen. It's from the Volkswagen group. Yeah,
German
BMW. What else? Mercedes is German.
That's going back. We were talking about censorship at one point. The amount of censorship to things that happen in the past that people want to turn a blind eye to is actually upsetting. And you'll know what I'm talking about.
Porsche.
Because I saw it on Paul.
Ford is not.
The
Ford
reverse whitewashing of history. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen shit like that? How they're doing documentaries, but they'll do documentaries of, like, the most egregious one that I've seen so far was, I guess not egregious, but the one that caught my attention the most. Mind you, it's not insulting, but it's just a little strange. I watched this Netflix show that was, it was Troy, Rise and Fall of a City, or Rise and Fall of an Empire. And it was the Battle of Troy, back whenever, against Greece, when that one dude kidnapped that dude's wife, whatever. They, instead of having, German people play the Germans, and Spanish people play the Spanish, and English people play the Englishmen, and then Greeks play the Greeks, they just had different colored people play. So you had all the white people were the bad guys, obviously.
Naturally, right.
And then you had all the Spanish people playing, like, the mediators, and then you had, like, Achilles was played by, like, a giant black dude, when Achilles was Greek.
That's fucking weird.
BBC is doing documentaries now where they're not even, like, they had a documentary where Leonardo da Vinci was, like, a black guy.
He was kings.
And then they had, like, other people be Asian and there weren't even Asians in Europe back. It's not like I'm not riled up about it, but I just find it very strange that they're so adamant about, you know, empowering other people that they have to completely forget about history. Mm-hmm. It's like we can't bring up the fact that black people were enslaved or Asians were enslaved or whatever. Irish
people.
No, they don't care about the Irish. The Irish are white.
Yeah, right. Well, people like to forget the bad parts of history.
Yeah, I know, that's the joke.
You know what I mean?
And they're trying to make it seem like history was always this lovey-dovey thing. And on the flip side was the fucking circle jerk I saw after Battlefield 5 was announced, and how fucking angry people got that the main characters in Battlefield 5 is a pair of lesbians. It's like, that's okay. Yeah, I guarantee you there wasn't a 5-star general in World War II that was a lesbian with pink hair.
Right.
But it's a video game.
It's not a historically accurate game.
Yeah, and the people that are acting like it always was is annoying.
But
I also don't like the amount of...
If they've ever played any Battlefield game, they know that it's all blowing up everything and somehow surviving every explosion.
Yeah.
You survive an explosion you should die from in every campaign mission.
Yeah.
So.
And then also the social justice type stuff that they're putting into movies. They ruined Star Wars, honestly.
The thing is,
they completely shat all over Star Wars.
Now you have to... It's weird. They almost like go overboard with things trying to get like everybody included. Whereas like you really never had to do that before.
And there's no way to include everybody, you know? And that's the thing is they're like... You never hear people complain, or you hear people complaining, oh, there's not enough women that are action movie stars. It's like, do you know do you know who Sigourney Weaver is, or Michelle Rodriguez, or whoever else? I'm blanking on the names, but you know what I mean?
There's definitely some, like Tomb Raider movies and shit.
And, you know, you don't have to make an all-female Ghostbusters. I didn't see women all over the world clamoring for an all-female Ghostbusters. And the whole point of it was, it's all chicks.
That was just to make it.
What was the newest one? The heist movie. Ocean's 8 with all chicks. I was talking about this last time when we had Josh on.
Yeah.
The Ocean's 8 with all women, but your whole shtick is that it's all women? You know, how about you don't pay attention, you don't draw attention to the fact that it's an all-female cast, and how about you just have it be its own thing? You want to have it grown on its own merits, you know? Nobody, you know, back in the 70s, they were, you know, they didn't advertise Sigourney Weaver as the main character for the first Alien movie, because back then, it was the 70s, and a lot of people would be like, oh, well, Tom Skerritt can't be the secondary character. He has to be the main character. Then you find out she lives, whatever. But then you see after that, she kind of like broke new ground with how, you know, women can be badass and shit too.
Yeah.
But they forget about, like, nowadays people are so short-sighted and they have such recency bias that they don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking. I was reading about how there's colleges across the country for their graduation ceremonies, split the graduation ceremonies either by gender or race or both. And that is the most back-ass worst thing I've ever seen in my life. You're celebrating diversity by separating yourselves.
Yeah. Well,
college slits. Yes. College's split ceremony.
Yeah. The whole thing is like, this is also what I was thinking too, is that every time anybody talks about racism, or like a lot of times what it is like anybody who like acknowledges any type of racism, it seems like they're the ones who are thinking in that racist manner because they're the ones thinking about it. Whereas like if you were just saying it without thinking about race at all,
yeah,
it wouldn't like it has nothing to do with racism to the person who said it.
I went on Facebook yesterday for the first time in a long time, and my friend Billy that I went to college with, black guy, he's friends with like Christy and all them, posted about how his car broke down in a suburb in Rochester or wherever, and it was all white people, and there was this guy mowing his lawn on his riding mower. And he went up to him.
Just an average Joe.
Went up to him and he goes, "Hey, can you help me jump my car? My car broke down." And the guy's like, "No, I want to finish mowing my lawn. I have things to do." And went and kept mowing his lawn. So what he does is he goes on Facebook and he posts, "Oh, this guy, I asked this guy to help me jump my car and he told me no." He goes, "This is why black people hate white people." And I'm like, no, he had his own shit to do. Like, fuck off. Maybe he didn't even know how to jump a car. Like, what do you... But, like, the first thing, "Oh, this guy told me that he wasn't going to help me jump my car. That means he's racist." It's like, no.
I love how he's deleting all of his history. He doesn't want anything that pertains to...
I have a healthy habit of deleting my history.
Yeah, I don't ever do that. But I don't, like... Well, you can... With Google Chrome, you can search, like, incognito. So you can open an incognito window and just search everything you do. Like, nothing has cookies and nothing, like, remembers passwords or anything like that. So you can, and there's no history or search history or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was only on Apple.
No, Google Chrome does it. I think you just hit the menu button and you hit incognito tab.
Or you can just not be a pussy and just look at porn on your main page.
No, but I'm saying it would make
I like
your
having
phone run faster if you don't have all that shit saved on. Well, not saved on your phone, but
I think it saves it to your browser.
Your Google account. Yeah, because the Clear Shots email has a bunch of my search history in it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, there's a bunch of... Like, I Google shit all the time, and half of it's porn, the other half is whatever I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got on my phone, and I had to find something that I looked up earlier, and I clicked I clicked search history, and it said, "Search history saved to clearshotspodcast@gmail.com." And I'm like, huh!
Yeah.
And I had to take it off my phone.
Every time I use YouTube... it's under my Google account, but when I use it on the computer, I have it on Clear Shots. So anything I watch on the computer, it goes through the YouTube. Like, it looks like our podcast account is watching these videos. Like,
yeah.
So I could just, like, leave comments from us. But it's Google is... It's so weird, too, Google. I wish I could just combine my old account and my new account on Google, but I can't do it. I don't know how to do that, so... But what you can do, what's cool is you can sign in once and have all your accounts lined up in one thing. So
yeah, that's what I got.
On YouTube, I can just click like my user picture and then click whatever account I want to switch to. It's nice because then you don't have to fucking sign in and out and everything. So Google now processes over 40,000 search queries every second on average. 3.5 billion searches per day, 1.2 trillion searches per year worldwide.
That sounds about right.
Now it does make sense. Now on my home screen on my phone, there's just a Google bar. You can just start typing it out immediately.
Yeah.
And when you type into Google Chrome, anything in that fucking top bar, that acts as a Google search.
Yeah.
So even if you're not typing a web address, it's immediately a Google search.
The thing that pisses me off about the Google bar I have on my home screen is that when I Google something and it brings me to a Reddit post, it opens the Reddit app. But it doesn't open the Reddit app. It opens the Reddit app through Google. So then I'll try and go back to it, and it'll be gone.
Sometimes
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's better to just use the browser.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes YouTube ads, you won't see as many YouTube ads on the browser as you see on the app.
Yeah, I do use... Well, yeah, I guess so.
And they won't cut the video off in the middle of your fucking video. And be like,
I almost always use the browser.
I'm really, really close to getting YouTube Red.
They're getting ridiculous, these ads.
Yeah, because there's even, there's pages that I watch that specifically don't monetize their videos, and you still get ads for them.
Yeah, what annoys me is when there's a fucking 3-hour podcast and it just happens in the middle.
You ever have fucking full shows, like YouTube shows as ads? I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You ever have that shit?
And unless you hit skip ad, it won't.
Dude, I remember I fell asleep watching
like a fucking.
It was actually last night. I fell asleep watching the Attack of the Clones Plinkett review. And I woke up and it was like 1:20, 1:30, whatever in the morning. And it was showing me the first episode of this YouTube Red show. And I'm like, why is this on?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't want to watch this shit.
Right. Well, you weren't going to watch it. You were sleeping.
I was sleeping. That's a good point. I was heavy snooze. I got high and jerked off. You don't sleep, or you don't stay awake much longer after that, man.
Yeah, that's about it.
In the words of Joe Rogan, if you can get high and jerk off and stay awake, you should be a Navy SEAL.
Here's a big disagreement that everyone is gonna have with me, but I'm just gonna say
is it the Holocaust roller coaster?
Talk about traps.
You should not be watching porn. No one should.
Are you one of those no-fap guys?
I aspire to be.
I was one of those for a while.
Why is it? What's the ideology?
If you don't jerk off, your body starts producing different hormones that it gets rid of brain fog and makes your cognitive function better. I don't know. I can't explain it. I jerked off before I came here.
Right. Yeah. Your brain's a little foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine it'd be the opposite. You would think. You know, a lot of times, like, what's weird is like your men's sexual urges. They take over when you're fucking horny, so they'll take over a lot of things. Yeah. So like,
it was that bad. It was like 12:30, and I didn't jerk off when I woke up. I didn't jerk off when I woke up in the middle of the night, and I didn't jerk off before I started my day. And like, I'm at work and I'm in the bathroom and on my phone, and I'm just like scrolling through NBA, and all of a sudden I'm just like full stiff, and I'm like, fuck, and I just punched my dick for like 30 seconds, came all over the floor, stepped on a paper towel, wiped it up, and then went back to the kitchen and made a sandwich.
They didn't have one of those jerk off hookahs in there.
No, I wish.
All restrooms should have those. Just
my problem with NoFap is I tried it. I've tried it a few times. If I do NoFap,
so what is it? Just abstaining from jerking off for X amount of time?
It's abstaining. You can't even abstain from jerking off, because when you jerk off and when you have sex, you release the same endorphins. So it's just don't even ejaculate, which isn't possible.
You just have to stop right before and then let it go.
Well, it's almost like
you gotta blue ball yourself.
A craving for a cigarette, almost.
What, are you talking shit about cigarettes now?
No, I'm just saying porn is basically an addiction. Basically.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
No way, it's not.
No, I think masturbation is healthy. I do agree with the porn though. Porn can be very unhealthy because porn gives you ridiculous expectations for real sex. Real sex is sticky, smelly, really awkward, and only lasts for like 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
You ever time yourself having
5
sex?
minutes.
You think you're lasting like a half hour?'re lasting like 50 seconds.
I've gone for a couple hours before.
Doubt it.
But I was drunk.
Stop watch it.
Stop
watch it.
I'm not watching. I'm talking about watching porn.
Oh, okay.
That's for more than 1 hour.
Stop watch your sex next time.
I've definitely done it for more than an hour, but what happens
with breaks
is
in between foreplay,
but it's not one. It's not one thing. Like, it's not
that's
one,
different.
Yeah, it's not one shot. It's not on one shot. It's like a session.
No, it's not.
Or like you're inside for a while, you're pounding, and then you're like, I'm gonna eat it for a bit, and stick your fingers in it, and then just slap your titties around.
Yeah, you gotta stall a little.
Yeah, but look what it does to men. Like, people get addicted to porn, then they jerk off their dick until it doesn't work anymore.
That does happen.
Yeah.
It does it happen?
I have had that happen. You get the death grip.
The idea is getting it out before so that you can last longer afterwards.
They say that you make better decisions after you jerk off before you go on a date or something.
I would imagine so, yeah, because you're not clouded by like trying to get it in.
Yeah.
You know, like you've already relieved the tension.
Whereas the girl already comes in like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know how they
I guess none of us do.
Yeah, I mean it's
but there's a difference between the way girls think and the way guys think.
I think
that's sexist. That's sexist. I'm offended.
Yeah, they're equal.
I love hearing that. Like, I would love to see a comment.
Yeah, your gender pay gap, dude. Women make less money than men.
Yeah, that's why every business ever hires exclusively women, because they can pay them less.
Yeah.
Did you know that over 90% of all deaths in the workplace are from men dying at work because they picked the most dangerous and also the most highest paying jobs?
Yeah, because they got paid. They got paid too much, so they died.
I wouldn't mind fixing the death gap.
You want to kill? You want to kill?
You want to kill a bunch of women? What are you, an incel? You fuck.
No, he just wants to get rid of. He just wants to get rid of the Mexicans. Just kill them off.
Well, I actually do hate women.
Yeah. Well, that's why you don't want to jerk off.
Like, people shouldn't even be having sex either. Like, you should listen to God and wait until marriage to have sex.
No.
Yes.
That's crazy.
You know,
are you being serious?
Yeah.
You're gonna wait?
That's crazy.
You shouldn't have premarital sex.
Yeah, but that's just what God said. That's just what somebody who wrote a book says.
No, it's what the creator of the whole universe says.
Yeah, but have you met him in person?
I can.
I'm going out for a cigarette.
I mean, you could, yeah, but I don't know if you can.
If you follow Christ, you will.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think
Why not?
because I don't want to take the word of some book that tells me all these crazy things, and
Well, I think
it gets too. The Bible just gets too crazy for
I think
me
it comes
to
down to
follow.
whatever makes you happy, though. If you
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it,
Sure,
you know?
sure. But I don't think anybody should say like you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that because
No.
God says that. You know.
But it can also lead to very great.
I think you can. Well, I think I know what you're trying to say.
It's also more of a life guidance. Like,
yeah, there certainly is a guideline, but I think you can take the good parts of the Bible and the bad parts of the Bible. You can say fuck off, but you don't have to follow every word of God. You
like
know?
look at
well,
being.
if you were to follow every word of the Bible, you'd be a nutcase.
There's crazy shit in the Bible, dude. Real crazy shit.
It's not easy to say.
like
but
what's
yeah.
funny is look at being gay, for example. I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack with this, but
Yeah.
if you
It says you're not supposed to be gay in the
yes, that's a good thing. Like even if you don't believe in God, look at what happens when you're gay. You're most likely gonna get AIDS.
But I don't know. I've heard that it's not their choice to be gay. Is
Yeah,
that a
that's-
real thing?
Oh,
It's not.
yes,
it's
Bible. Well, there actually are a lot of studies that are saying
the same
like,
thing. I hate to bring pedophiles up, but it's the same way they think they can't help the fact that they're, you know what I mean, attracted to younger.
Well, I think that's different.
that has to do with like a mental illness.
So
like,
is
I
being
think
gay,
that's-
though.
Yes.
I think that's
What the
a-
fuck? You think gay is not a mental illness?
yes, it is.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say. You know, I really don't know. But there's a lot of studies that are saying like there are like genetically
Maybe.
like differences. And you know, there's kids that like are little girls and they like to play with fucking they like to play with dinosaurs.
Trucks and
Well,
yeah.
that has to do with like testosterone levels too. You can tell by a
Right.
digit ratio. Have you ever tried this?
If
hold,
you have
hold your
lower
hand out like
testosterone-
this. Is your ring finger longer than your index finger?
Well, that's well, I guess.
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Your index finger is longer than your ring
My
finger.
ring is longer than my index.
That means
Depends
you
on
didn't
how
get
you-
much testosterone in the womb.
It depends on how you hold it though, you know, like
What are you talking about?
Well, if you were,
How do you prove that?
it's the way that you're developing. Like,
So you're the same way.
no, my ring finger's longer than my index.
So is mine.
finger.
That's what I was showing you.
Yeah. So
Right?
if your ring,
They're about the same on my left, but
if
All
you're
right.
all right, your dominant hand. So is
my
your right-
dominant hand is fucking ridden with testosterone.
Okay. So that just shows if your index finger is longer or just as long as
I don't know if that should have anything to do with.
well, there are differences in like women's index toe is generally longer than their like thumb toe, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
Like
your index
compared
toe
to-
would be your
compared to
middle,
yours. Yeah.
middle toe.
Like compared to a man's. Like if you ever looked at that, it's different.
Really?
Yeah, their index toe is like generally longer.
But as I was saying there, like it may not always be to determine if they're gay, but if you do have a digit ratio like that, you're going to tend out to be more feminine-like.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a thing where you might have less testosterone that leads you to be homosexual. I think that probably is some of the case. I don't think it's a choice. I think it could be. I think you probably could eventually, if you wanted to, choose to do that. But I think a lot of it does have to do with like, you know, it's kind of goes back to that nature versus nurture kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like how much of what we choose comes from how we were born, how we were made, and how much of it comes from the way we were brought up.
It's
And
both. I think it's a mix.
I think it's definitely both. Yeah. But there's a lot of like the only thing you can actually study and get tangible evidence of is the things that you have in your DNA. So like what you've actually been born with.
Yeah.
And I think there are like a lot of studies that have said like there's a characteristic about these people that it does make them attracted to the same sex.
But they don't
Which-
choose. They don't choose.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah, I mean,
gay.
I don't know. I mean, maybe some of them do choose. Who
I'm
knows?
confused about that. Is because I don't know. Naturally, you're one or the other.
I think that's
right?
probably the case. Yeah.
But you can
so
also...
you're almost not in charge. I mean, unless it changes.
I think what happens is when you hit puberty and you start to not feel like emotions for the other sex or like lust for another sex, a different sex, you start to question it and you start to go the other way.
Yeah, but look at that though. You can also look at the media for that because of stuff that they promote. Like, if you're young and going through puberty, then you go on a internet or watch a movie or whatever talking about gay people, and like you're thinking as you're going in, like, maybe I am gay or something. It's gonna have an influence.
That definitely might.
Yeah, but that all came after.
But that was without anything. The way you think about anything at all.
Yeah. The thing is, like, people started. I think there were gay people before this like media hype all blew up,
and a lot of people
it stemmed from that.
A lot of people
like,
are confused.
It wasn't the media's idea to make people gay. Like, that wasn't what they wanted.
It was a very small group of people, and like, it's changed so much. Like, I would have been fine with it if it had been what we're doing in our bedroom is our business, but it's gone so far from that. It's just now, everything's gay. Pride flag here, pride flag there.
Well, I think what it is people
want to be accepted.
Yeah. And that's part of it, because a lot of people don't accept it.
That's understandable.
And a lot of people don't accept it because of religion, you know.
But it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that they want to be accepted.
I think religion's an obstacle, and I think it's an obstacle that we should overcome because
why?
Because it leads you into it makes you follow the words of someone else instead of your own.
That's opinions. If you're thinking you're probably coming throughout this as an atheist. Are you an atheist?
Well, no, I don't even think we should be going this far.
I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic. So I would say, like, I honor that there's a possibility of a God. I believe that there could be a higher power. And I don't believe that I'm going to know until I expire and I find out one day. Mm-hmm. I believe that if there is a higher power, that higher power knows that I am deep down a good person and they would accept me for who I am.
Did you believe in Jesus Christ?
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know that there's any proof that, like, it was real, or if there was any proof that any of that stuff ever existed. But the thing is, like, if you were brought up with the Quran or something, you would probably accept that.
Except they're wrong.
But you would say the same thing about the Bible if you were brought up on the Quran. Because it would have been the same thing. To you, that would have been the truth, because that's how you were brought up with it.
Yeah. I wasn't brought up like Catholic or anything.
Well,
this is
but I'm saying,
I've come to recently.
Right, but that's the thing, is you chose to get into that religion, and had you chose to get into a different one,
but who's to say you're not going to change your mind in another 10 years?
Right, you would have thought every other religion was wrong, and that's how holy wars start. You know?
Yeah, that's holy wars were awesome.
Well,
Dave's
the album Holy Wars was great.
Why do you think I brought a Crusader mask or a helmet?
Oh yeah,
I have a whole Templar set up. I'm ready. Sick.
Yeah,
are you?
Yeah.
Well, there might be a civil war pretty soon, so
we're gonna need
Trump
our
supporters
swords.
Versus the far left.
Yeah, and I'll win it.
Yeah, and you're gonna have a helmet, so you'll be fine.
If you want to duel me, I have a wooden sword too. I have a wooden sword too. If you want to duel me,
yeah. Well, I got an airsoft gun.
Get your own helmet.
I'll be carrying an airsoft gun and a machete.
You know how much more manly it is to fight with swords than guns?
Dude, it's not.
We're such pussies for shooting each other.
It's not even close. It's way savage.
Way more badass. Savage. Yeah.
All right.
Guns ruined everything.
If you guys could have any battle armor, or in particular, what would you pick?
Peace.
No, I mean, if you had to pick like an armor set or a weapon.
Okay.
I went with the Templar.
It would probably be. Have you ever played Crisis?
All right, medieval. Stick to medieval. Okay.
All right, I was gonna say the Master Chief or Crisis, because Crisis was badass, because it was like the Master Chief.
Nothing. You have the mic again.
It was kind of like the Master Chief armor, but you could like use like right bumper or left bumper. Right bumper was like you'd get like more shield, and left bumper was like you could go invisible.
What is this now?
That was Crisis. Crisis 2.
Crisis 2 was sweet. First one was good too.
Anyways, we were talking about what type of body armor medieval armor, if you could pick, what would it be? Like Spartan armor, knight armor, or
Spartan armor. Spartan armor's badass.
Samurai armor, dude.
samurai?
Sick,
Yeah,
Well,
you ever
it
play
depends,
Mountain
man.
Blade Warband?
Yeah.
You want the samurai armor.
I think so, yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean,
second.
That's the
optimally,
most intimidating shit.
Yeah.
I think optimally, I would want to be like in the Spartan army because their forces were incredible. Like they with their like phalanx formation and shit, you couldn't get past that shit. And what's incredible is the sheer number of enemies they had to face. And these, well, theoretically 300 Spartans. Were with Xerxes' army and shit, they were completely outnumbered, and they were just absolute savages, and they were brought up to do that shit.
They were going well until their position was
Compromised.
compromised.
Yeah, I think Xerxes actually would he killed so many. He actually killed Leonidas too. He actually crucified Leonidas as well at the end, at one point. But they were savages. And fucking Spartans actually were brought up when they were brought up. They would fuck everybody. They would fuck little boys and shit. They were.
I mean,
crazy.
that was just the Greeks. That's Seth's phone.
Is it? Yeah, it's mine. But the Spartans were absolute savages.
That movie is fucking badass. I remember I saw that in theaters when I was 11.
300.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyways,
it's not very historically accurate, but it's
No, it doesn't need to be though.
check this out. What I have.
Jesus, is that your white knight armor?
Basically.
Did you make that?
No,
wow.
I got it.
That's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
That kind of armor is cool.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking elite,
The Templar.
the Templar armor. Yeah. No, I just
yeah.
I like samurai armor, man. It's fucking
Yep.
the way they made it was crazy, and like I said, I think it's the most intimidating. I mean, if I'm doing anybody in history, I'd want the armor from the Hound in Game of Thrones
Yeah, that's fucking badass.
with the dog head helmet.
Roman
now,
armor.
now samurai armor seems to be the most protective. You would imagine it covers your entire body.
I remember watching Deadliest Warrior. I believe Spartan beat Samurai, didn't it?
Yeah, because the samurai were more individual.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're also discipline based, and
Yeah.
Spartans are more fucking savage.
Yeah, for real.
Now they're really just a breastplate. You know what I mean? Like you could get your arm chopped off pretty easy. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about it, armor's really not going to stop a
No.
swing like
That's-
that. Yeah.
That seems very similar to Roman armor too.
Yeah.
Greek armor and Roman armor is very similar.
Yep.
I like the headpieces though.
Did the Greeks and the Romans weren't at the same time, were they?
No,
Weren't the Romans way past
The Romans were a little bit, I believe.
a few hundred years ahead of them, right? Or after them?
It was
Julius Caesar was before Leonidas. Or after Leonidas.
I really don't know.
It had to have been.
I
I don't know, man. All I know is the most badass guy in history, besides that one Norwegian sniper, is Bonaparte.
Yeah, I could see that.
Napoleon. He completely changed the way wars were fought. Because it used to be a gentleman's game. Like the Patriot, how they line up and stuff. And then Bonaparte was like, you know what? Fuck that gentleman shit. I'm going to hit you guys from the back and burn your towns down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was successful.
Yeah, and then he got too successful and overthrew the government. And then they kicked him off. And then people liked him so much, they brought him back
Well,
from exile.
then it went into.
Well, when
Also
firearms were invented, it changed everything. Really, firearms completely changed the game. I mean, it's not like you can't fucking line up like you could fucking with Xerxes versus Leonidas with AK-47.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's what they did though. Like in the
It's similar, yes, it is.
they lined up and did the whole thing with that, and
And that was a terrible strategy.
Are you referring to the setups and
Yeah,
defenses?
it's more of tactics were
did you ever
changed.
see the Patriot?
I believe
with Mel Gibson. And how they line up. That's what we're thinking of. How you have the two armies and they're all in lines, and then you line up and just next man up.
And you're like 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were thinking like strategy and like preparedness, like how they would dress. Like, I thought you guys were talking about like, how their armors were like downgraded to fit with bullets and.
I mean, what's crazy about this right here in the Civil War? When you line up, if you're in the front lines, you're guaranteed dead.
You know you're fucked.
I mean, you're 100% gonna die.
Well,
so you think?
During
unless you're in the South.
Well,
now we're taking your statues down, fucker. What were you saying?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with it, but oh my god. Yeah. I thought you guys were talking about like setup, like how things seem much cheaper and like how their armors were downgraded from metal because it wasn't like the bullets could go through it. It was just more cheaper to make a bunch of ammunition than it was to create like a set of.
Yeah, a lot of the older guns were just pieces of shit. Like,
I mean, you were just firing lead balls at people, going, like a musket nowadays would still fucking kill.
Now, where was gunpowder invented? Was that China or Japan?
China.
I believe it was China. And then we were like, hey, you know what? Let's put a bullet in front of this.
Well, they didn't even. It wasn't even a bullet. It was just shrapnel, really.
Yeah, and then we'll make it fire at people.
And weren't cannons first, and then they were like, let's make them smaller,
like
phones, like just like with cell phones. Let's make it smaller.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah,
dude. You know what my favorite book was growing up? You know what I'm talking about. You know what exactly the fucking historical.
1 fish, 2 fish,
guns.
red fish, blue fish.
In the library, they had the book of historical guns, and it had all the cool. It had the history of firearms.
Oh, that's cool,
dude. Like when pistols and rifles were first being invented, they got so experimental with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, the AK-47 is one of the best rifles out there. I like automatic rifles. It's very cheap. It's cost effective to make, and it doesn't jam.
Yeah,
like it never jams. It's very, very.
And even if it does, it's easy to fix.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Arlie or Ermie's show of how he would go around with the guns?
The guy that was from Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah,
No, but somebody was talking to me about that.
Yeah, a show on the History Channel for a bit where he'd go through histories of guns. My favorite one was the machine gun, where he would look at
the crank one?
Yeah, he would go through it and until the one that you see on top of military cars that can shred other cars to pieces.
Yeah, that's the thing that...
MG42s changed like World War II heavily too. Yeah. Not to mention tanks, but MG42s, you could just run belts of ammunition through those things.
Yeah.
Same with the
and
Browning.
Just mow people down. Yeah, exactly.
The Browning was especially scary because they were 50 cals and you could just tear apart buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they didn't even have... They wouldn't even use
and
missiles.
you could mount them too.
Yeah.
So you could just mount it on a fucking trench. And
50
anybody who's
rifles.
anywhere near you.
Isn't that the shit they used in fucking D-Day and shit?
Yeah. They had the MGs.
Fucking crazy.
The Battle of Normandy was like the worst, the biggest failure ever, dude.
Well, it worked.
But that's the thing is, like, there should have been no contest because of the way that was fucking defended. Like, Normandy was completely...
It was literally just, let's throw 1 million bodies at Normandy until we get it.
Yeah. We shouldn't have been able to beat that. And they really should have been able to win. Like, there was really no excuse.
Well, I'm pretty sure what happened was during the battle,
failure.
During the Battle of Normandy on the beaches, they also had the paratroopers and stuff, and then people flanking in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really just poor timing. They had to have the beach invaded first because otherwise they would have realized it was more of a diversion, really.
Right. Yeah. I always felt like so many people died on boats, like just getting there.
Dude, yeah.
But they really, like, it's really crazy that we even were able to do anything there with the amount of fucking fortification that was going on. I mean, all the beaches were blocked off with like those big spikes, like the fucking tank blockers there, those big steel things.
Yeah.
I mean, and tanks just fucking changed warfare completely, dude.
Like, look at the Pacific War. That was completely different from the Atlantic.
The Pacific War was fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Oh yeah. When America was going from they were island hopping basically from Hawaii into Japan. In Japan, like every single island from here to Japan was completely occupied by their soldiers.
Yeah.
And the Battle of the Midway. That was That was fucking nuts. I had my grandpa Jones fought in the Korean War. He was in the Air Force. He would drop napalm on people.
Now the craziest shit is that these big world wars, the tactics that are used are completely different than what we use right now overseas. Because it's all we have airstrikes, yes, and automated airstrikes. Now we also everything's boots on the ground, you know. Other than that, and back then you could attack from sea, by air, and by land. So it was a totally different amount. Like the tactics you could use were completely different.
Yeah,
and you could catch people off guard a lot more.
My cousin,
but I mean, over there we're basically killing dudes with fucking paintball guns because their army is nothing compared to what we have.
My cousin Brandon fought in Afghanistan and was a marksman. He was telling me about how, like, you wouldn't even be able to see who you're shooting at with your naked eye, and then you look in your scope and you're looking like miles and miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's like, he was telling me there was this one, the first person he killed, they had it, and he told me this when he was telling me the story, and I'll tell you this now. It sounds like it's from Call of Duty or like a movie, and he was telling me that they had the big thing in Afghanistan was broadcasts, and what the Taliban or whoever would do is they'd take over these radio stations or TV stations and broadcast propaganda and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd also keep all the staff hostage to be able to produce all that. And he was telling me how they had to go in and escort the civilians that were hostage inside this TV studio. I think like News Channel 9. And they couldn't get there because they had people on the roof that had anti-tank launchers and mounted weapons and stuff. He was telling me how he was like over 1.5 miles away and killed a guy on the roof. And
with what?
A sniper rifle. I don't know what kind of sniper rifle, but it was a rifle. And talking about how he ended up shooting the guy, and it actually ended up going through his chest, out of his back, and it actually hit the RPG mounted on his back and blew up, and it blew up the fucking roof. And
not even really.
It just completely the roof caved in and it was covered in smoke and they were all freaking out. And then after that happened, they all just charged in.
I mean, I could believe that.
And it was like a whole thing where the way the marksmen were set up, was that they'd all be stationed. They'd be hundreds of yards away from each other and all be focusing on the one point, and just like every single angle was covered. Right, and it was just like a
lot of it is suppressing fire. They waste a lot of ammo.
They waste a ton of ammo.
Most of their ammo is wasted.
It's like 1% of all bullets actually kill people, if that.
Yeah.
Actually,
we watched a video the other day. They only killed 3 people in that engagement, and that was probably like a 45-minute engagement.
10 minutes.
And and he probably emptied his clip at least fucking 14 times.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of suppressing fire and a lot of firing like just all kinds of shit. You're really just keeping them as far away from you as possible.
Yeah. It's scary, man, because he was telling me like half the people there want your help and the other half don't want you there, and then 100% of them can't be trusted because you don't know which ones are equipped with bombs. He was telling me how...
But we are pretty good about a lot of it. Like, a lot of injured soldiers on their side, we'll take care of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not like we're going to just let them die. Like, a lot of times we do help them. Because, I mean, they're just people. We're trying to... It's not like we're trying to kill people. That's not the focus. We're just trying to win, push them back. You know? We're just trying to neutralize them, basically, is what we're trying to do. It's not going to... I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No, because my dad and even my grandpa will tell you that war has been going on in the Middle East since forever.
It's unwinnable.
Because they're not smart enough to realize that we're stronger than them.
They know, but
they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They also are going to die for a whole bunch. When they die, they get a whole bunch of fucking...
We're dealing with, like...
psychopaths.
Yeah, complete radicals. Like
yeah. They believe that they're going to die and get... What is it? Like a fucking...
72 virgins or whatever. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but yeah.
Yeah. But that's what they get for dying.
Dude, so give me 72 whores.
They don't care.
Don't give me 72 virgins. There's too many tears.
It's in the Quran.
Too many tears. I want my raping and pillaging after war to be like Johnson & Johnson, no tears. Give me a woman that's been entered and breached.
I love how they're equal age as well. Like the chances of that are just going to be like, it's just going to be your age.
That's like I said,
what if they're just it's all?
What if you die when you're 80 and all the bitches are 80? Then you're fucking eating out.
Yeah. Well, a lot of religions depict a paradise after death, and that's what attracts a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's what attracts a lot of people to the religion.
Did you guys know that Muhammad had a 6-year-old wife?
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky bastard.
And he was probably 60-something.
Dude, they still do all that shit. They do the arranged marriages and fucking child brides.
Well, we're in an hour on this one, so
I'm heading home after this one.
Gonna call it.
For sure. So it was a good time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hope we can do it again.
Got a decent amount of stuff covered.
All right, well, we'll see you whenever the next one is. Clear Shots Podcast is available on any of your favorite podcasting websites or applications. You can check us out at clearshotspodcast.com to hear any of the episodes. Also, follow us on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/clearshotspodcast to get there. And you can also check us out on Twitter at clearshotspod. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.